Today, every day, small cap investors visit Agoracom knowing this is the day to discover the world's next great company, to have their dreams come true. That's why I take to the open road, to find them, to tell their stories, to engage them, to bring them to life, because they want to connect with you from your office, your phone, your home, anywhere. Agoracom, find your dream.
Welcome to Beyond the Press Release, a production of Agoracom, in which we take the time to speak with small cap executives about what's going on at their companies and recent big press releases. With us again, we're happy to have him back because he's doing great stuff. Alan Paul Silverstein, President and CEO of ImagineAR. The company trades on the CSE under the stock symbol IP. For our friends in the United States, IPNFF on the OTCQB. And with him, the guest of the day, the guest is Jason Josinovich, VP of Technology at North Highland, which is ranked by Forbes as one of America's best management consulting firms in 2020. We're going to talk about them and what they just teamed up to do. But for those of you who are new to the ImagineAR story, here's what you got to know. As the name implies, they're an augmented reality company. They enable business to create their own mobile phone AR campaigns with no programming or technology. And for those of you who don't even know what AR is, it's essentially a technology that lays digital images and graphics over the real world. Don't take my word for how big it's going to be. Apple CEO Tim Cook said, and I'm reading this, his quote, "Augmented reality would play an important role in how we use technology in the future and promise to be as influential in our society as the smartphone." ImagineAR is already commercializing, and today they announced that they've formed a partnership with North Highland, who brings 5,000 consultants, even more than that, from around the world in 70 different offices. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Jason, we're really glad to have you here because we've had Alan on a couple of times, so we've heard what he's had to say. But look, this is great news for the company. You're an award-winning firm. You're global. Forbes said you're one of the best in America. What was it that led you to choose ImagineAR as an augmented reality partner?
Well, we're a leading transformational firm based really on operational, customer, and workforce transformation. And when you think about the impact of what's happening right now with digital, it's important to look at technologies which enable this level of sophistication, of personalization, of customization. And when I met with AP and the guys, it seemed like they're very flexible in their approach. They're really can-do people. It's really about getting it done, and that aligns with our values. We make change happen, and we're known as the folks that can come in and get it done. And so we're culturally aligned in that way. There's also a large degree of flexibility in the technology and the way to go to market, which is important in today because everything's different.
You're the VP of Technology at North Highland, so I'm going to assume you put them through some pretty rigorous testing, due diligence. What was that process like? And we presume that AP, I love how you call them that, but we assume that Alan and ImagineAR passed with flying colors. But tell us a little bit about how rigorous of a process that was, because this is a big decision for you guys.
So we weave together culture, data and analytics, experience design into our solutions. And it's important to have a framework that can scale to what clients need today. So obviously, being a Microsoft partner was great to have the ability to scale as required. So there's that robustness of the platform there. And there's also, like I said before, the flexibility of the solution, being able to custom develop what we need to be able to move quickly. This market's moving very fast. We need to be able to capitalize on these opportunities. And so all those were important aspects of our decision in partnering.
AP, I'm going to call you this interview because Jason is. What does it mean? Look, you've always talked about, you've been the biggest cheerleader of your technology. You've told us time and time again, that's great. What does this partnership mean for ImagineAR in terms of credibility and third-party validation that the likes of North Highland would actually partner up with you on your augmented reality?
Well, I think you hit it right on the head there, right, George? It's validation of this platform. We've invested an enormous amount over the number of years. We always feel we've been one of the leaders, And to have North Highland come in, and certainly Jason with his background, his understanding of the market, the dynamics and digitalization, it's a tremendous opportunity for us, ImagineAR, to start expanding our base beyond our existing contacts, our relationship resellers. And as I always say in sports, it brings you into the big show. And I think working with Jason gets us to the big show, working in the major client opportunities with his expertise, where we focus in our lane, on our platform, building it out, offering these features and functions that we think are pretty advanced in the market. And then Jason and his team working with his clients hand in hand to make change, work with them closely, and meet their needs, leveraging our platform. So it's a wonderful partnership. We're super excited about it. And we are tremendously optimistic of the future together in 2020 and beyond.
Jason, as the VP of Tech, what's your firm's view on the future of augmented reality? Is Tim Cook right? Is this going to be a game-changing application for the rest of us?
Well, one of the things we've seen now with the impact of the global pandemic is the increased use of digital technology in our day-to-day lives. As you know, we're living on video conference now. We're living with our phone we were already living with our phone, but now the use of it as a second screen simultaneously to what we're engaging with is only growing rapidly. And so when you look at the digital transformation that's happening to the world, to the workplace, to how customers engage with clients, how things work in an operational lens, it's important to be able to entertain and connect with consumers where they are on these devices. There's still a learning curve for a lot of people on how to use this and what the value is and how it's going to be played out. So, obviously we're working in a try, test, validate, scale methodology, but we're seeing growth now outside of the prototype stage. We're seeing it grow to enterprise scale. We're seeing the impact on the business being something that's measurable, something that can be accountable. And also there's a degree of creativity there that's really interesting.
What is, what's the feedback like? It's interesting that you said, what you said there in that question. So the dovetail question is, for me, is what's the feedback you're getting from your clients? Is their appetite for AR growing and they're increasingly turning to you as their consultants to lead them through the way? Or is this something you're going to be more proactive about and start bringing to your clients because maybe they're not seeing it yet?
It cuts both ways. The future's not evenly distributed, as other people have said before.
Good line. Yep.
So people on the client side, have a different view of the technology and different understanding of it. So it's there's not one simple answer there. It also depends on the level, what kind of business you're in, the level of maturity of the customers. But we're increasingly seeing this as another important touch point. What is clear is the growth of technology is not stopping, and the impact of digital technology on companies' transformations is continuing to escalate. And that's one of the things that the pandemic really has, I don't want to say enabled, but it's one of the outcomes that came out of it is that the exponential growth is happening now. And so it's not just about, what is my digital strategy? It is how is the cornerstone of my strategy enabling these digital touch points to come to life. And that is the big growth. And so AR is one of the technologies that enables that to happen. And it's an exciting area.
Alan, are you guys going to be involved? Do you think the company's going to be involved as Jason maybe as they start work with customers? Do you envision the company being involved in implementations, integrations, customizations, things like that? Or do you more foresee it as your software is so easy to use that you're just going to leave it to these big companies and North Highland to just do what they need to do?
Well, I think North Highland brings an extra level of expertise, understanding of enterprise level implementations, because the SDK, which allows the ImagineAR platform to integrate with existing mobile apps and existing data structures. I think there's a play where North Highland really is going to get involved and scope out and really participate in building these gateways, building these relationships, whether it's loyalty reward programs, whether it's AR activations tied to e-commerce on a massive scale, not only in North America, but out the world. So yes, the platform is easy to use, but it can go far beyond where it is today. And we're looking to Jason and his team in North Highland to work closely with us, bring their expertise from the enterprise level of implementations, their ability to change and work with clients to take the AR platform to a whole new level we haven't even begun to tap to date.
And Jason, on that note, you've got 5,000 plus consultants working with the firm. Can you kind of walk us through what your rollout plan looks like Because I don't know, do all 5,000 suddenly find out about the partnership today? And do you do a Zoom call with Alan to bring him up to speed? Or what does that rollout look like over the next week, month, and year?
So, as I mentioned before, we look at the world through these three lenses of transformation: customer, workforce, and operational. And AR really enables different outcomes based on each of those lenses. So, if you think about creating powerful experiences that are unique and trusted, how you do that in a workforce transformation is different than how you do that in a customer experience.
Right.
So it's varying degrees. There's clients that see the need now and are jumping in with 2 feet, and there's clients that are more hesitant. But it's important to think about a tailored strategy that hits on the company's objectives themselves, and how technologies achieve business outcomes is unique to each of the enterprises.
Do you see this more, and just because you've got your thumb on the pulse of this, do you see this in the early stages as more of a workforce application or more of a customer? Because in my mind, I'm thinking people use AR in order to reach out to their customers, but that's me from looking through my lens. What are your initial thoughts on how you see most of them taking on AR, or at least primarily, because we're probably going to use it multiple times, but primarily, how do you see it?
It is multiple, George. I mean, it depends on the level of sophistication of the company in itself. There was a big push on sort of consumer activation of extended reality, and then there was a little bit of a pullback on the consumer side that has changed recently, I think, due to the change in industry dynamics that we just touched on. The enterprise itself was embracing this technology ahead of general consumers. You think about training, you think about some of those boring videos that we all watch, and then you have to click the Q&A side to pass your certification. So on the workforce side, AR can enable a really intimate and interesting way to have workforce transformation. You also think about things on the enterprise side about how the industries themselves can be transformed as information is held in these AR experiences.
Yeah, right.
Activated. So it's on both lenses, and how that comes to life. I mean, you can see there's many firms out there that are seeing growth in AR-enabled shopping. There's some great touch points on loyalty and consumer activity. I mean, this whole thing was blown up a few years ago, with Pokemon Go, which sort of legitimized this at a global scale. But it's one of those things where we don't know where this is going to end. It's an ingredient in the innovation process, and we're seeing new things. I mean, look at Animal Crossing right now. Nobody thought, a game engine was going to be something that would be used as a content creation vehicle. And that's another aspect of AR, where you're actually able to have sort of these unique ways of engaging that were unexpected. And so sometimes innovation happens out of necessity. You look at what's happening now with the pandemic, and we're using technologies in new ways that we didn't expect because we're forced to. The necessity of invention is upon us.
Alan, question for you. During the .com days, one of the famous commercials was, I think it was put on by IBM, where a bunch of a small tech group was looking at the first day their web store went live, and orders came in and they were happy. More orders came in, they were happy. More orders came in, they started getting scared. And the reason I'm asking you that is, North Highland is a big firm. They're capable of turning on a tap, like Jason's saying. You don't know how it's going to morph out and how it's going to grow. Are you ready for potentially what could be coming, or is the technology so great, because that is one of its big advantages, and how the self-service side of it, that you don't really have to worry about scale getting out of control?
Well, first of all, what makes you think I remember that commercial from back then, George? That's a big assumption.
The gray hair running right down the middle of your head right now is
that might do it,
and that's the dead giveaway right there.
I thought you were going to go further back on that. When working with Jason, we've built a huge platform that has tremendous amount of opportunity and scale today. We'll strategize with Jason and his team how to roll it out. That's what you're saying. Is it a fire hose of opportunity? That should be our biggest issue. We've built this platform to scale out, and because it's in the Azure cloud and has the capability to kind of grow as needed, we already have duplicate instances around the United States, and we're going to go global with it. I think we're pretty well prepared. But again, having the opportunity to work with Jason, his team, their technical knowledge, I really see a strong partnership where they're helping us as we continue to grow together with our clients as well as his clients, and really start building this out and become a major player in the AR marketplace around the world.
Jason, last question to you. on a personal level, are there 2 or 3 applications of ImagineAR's augmented reality that you kind of like right off the bat or in this early? Because as you said, they're going to morph into different things, and customers might even bring us things that you didn't think about. But do you got a couple of favorite applications that are already kind of working their way around your head saying, man, I'd really like to see some clients use AR to do this and this?
Well, I mentioned a few already, but to recap, I see some of the interesting applications around workforce enablement and training, around enterprise content management and information storage. One of the things on the consumer lens is if you look at, the lack of sports that we've had recently and the ability to create a dynamic second screen valuable experience when sports come back. And we're not all going to be all rushing into the stadiums right away until we nip this thing. So there's going to be an increased demand for engagement, on the device while we're watching the games, either streaming or on TV. So there's a lot of applications around the future of entertainment and how entertainment itself is happening at the same time. I envision there to be an experience. You might have this experience where you're watching a movie and there's something that you trigger up, you pull up IMDb or some other X-ray
Right.
inside Amazon, and you get additional information. All those things are unlocked with AR. I also talked about the Animal Crossing experience. That's an interesting, virtualization of the community aspect. I don't know about you, but Zoom fatigue is something that is sitting in my life, being on Hollywood Squares all day. And so, how do we go about engaging in new ways that replicate the social dynamics that we have as people? We're naturally needing to have engagement in a way that's more intimate than just a bunch of boxes on a TV screen. So AR is one of those technologies that enables that to happen. And so we're very interested in the possibility of this, and it's a pleasure to be part of building the future.
Hey, Jason, thanks for being on. Really appreciate it. We know that you're the VP of technology of one of the biggest management consulting firms in the world. So the fact that you took out the time to speak with ImagineAR shareholders, our audience, and even people in the future, right, who are going to run into this interview a week, a month, 2 months from now, much appreciated, powerful information, and looking forward to potentially having you back on.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot.
Alan, last word to you on this great, Friday and this great achievement for you. Last word to you about how you're feeling about the future of the company.
We're feeling very optimistic. This unfortunate health crisis, which has been mentioned, we're all aware about it, and, need to be safe, has really made AR one of the forefront decision opportunities now for many sports, live entertainment, music, and, a lot of the areas that Jason brought up. So for our future, we're seeing that AR is going to become more of a must-have than a nice-to-have. And with that being a part of the future of communications, activation, and engagement. So thank you again, George. Thank you, Jason, as well, for taking your time out of the day as well to kind of meet our shareholders and explain what we're going to be doing. And we're truly excited to be working with North Highland, and we think it brings us up quite a number of levels into the world today.
Yeah, congratulations, gents. Fantastic partnership, and we wish you much success. For everyone at home, you've been watching, or if it's been by podcast, you've been listening to Jason Jursinovich. He's VP of Technology at North Highland. And of course, AP Silverstein, President CEO of ImagineAR, that trades on the CSE under the stock symbol IP, and on the US under IPNFF. You heard Jason say it. A lot of you probably having Zoom fatigue. A lot of you probably having Netflix fatigue. So this is a great time to do your due diligence. Put that stuff away, put social media away, because you've been watching potentially a fantastic partnership that we're going to look back on 2 years from now and say, how do we not realize it? Don't make that mistake. Go do your due diligence, get to Agoracom, read the profile section on ImagineAR. We spell out everything. Even if you're a rookie in AR, it lays it all out nicely. Sample videos, you can't go wrong. Do your due diligence and ask your questions, get your answers, because you may have potentially discovered the great small cap augmented reality of the decade. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a fantastic day. Mama Silverstein, I hope you're happy with that. Talk to you soon.